Thanks for staying. Before we talk football, DSP Tehoda, former deputy head of the Police Commercial Crimes Unit, was suspected in court today over the cocaine turned into baking soda case. Now, she's praying the court to order the Ghana Police Service to reinstate her. In 2012, it was alleged DSP Tehoda assisted one Nanama Martins, a suspected cocaine dealer, to escape prosecution after a cocaine exhibit turned into baking soda at the police headquarters. The Bureau of National Investigations arrested her to help solve the mystery surrounding how 120 kilograms of cocaine got transformed into baking soda. Now, we go over to the court where my colleague Joseph Akablay is currently, and he will be reporting, telling us all the details we need to know. Now, Joseph, can you give us a quick wrap of the case so far? Now, we know that the judge has had to adjourn the case, but why is it so?
Well, the point that the presiding judge, Gifty A.J. Ado, made was the fact that due to the state attorney's strike, this is a strike that has taken place from the latter part of last year through to this year. Now, for cases that are at the High Court, they are being handled by as chief state attorneys, unlike at the Supreme Court where you have principal or chief state attorneys handling those cases. So in terms of those ones, it's beyond just mere attorneys. So those cases can go on. But for those at the High Court, you need those state attorneys who belong to the State Attorneys Association. So that is for that reason that the case could not be heard this morning. But more importantly, what should have taken place this morning was a motion by lawyers for DSP Tehoda. They were supposed to move a motion asking the court to adopt proceedings of the previous court. Now, just a bit of a remembrance as to how come we arrived at this point is the fact that there was a judge who was hearing the matter, Justice Kofi Esau-Mensah. Now, he was hearing the matter all through to the conclusion of the matter. All that was left to it was that he was expecting the various parties on both sides to file their address, after which he would deliver a judgment. Now, that judge was one of the judges who were dismissed following the expose by investigative journalist Anas Arimya Anas. So what it meant was that a judge who was hearing the matter has been dismissed, making that court vacant and without a judge. So subsequently, Justice Gifty A.J. Ado was appointed into the court. Now, her lawyers are in court, and what they wanted to do today was to ask the new court to adopt the proceedings, which are in documentary evidence, are already in the court records. They are asking the new court to adopt those proceedings and use them and move on to ask the various parties to file their addresses, after which the court will rule on the matter. But unfortunately, due to the strike by the state attorneys, that could not be done. So the judge has directed that they should inform the state attorneys that the hearing has been fixed for February 6th, and with the hope that by that time the state attorneys would have called off their strike, after which they will come over to court and have the matter heard.
All right, any reactions from her lawyers?
No, her lawyers, in fact, were not present in court because as far as what she told the court was the fact that their lawyers were communicated to that 10 a.m. was supposed to be the time for hearing, and she arrived in court somewhere around 9 a.m. And then again, when the judge had wanted to adjourn, she made a point that her lawyers were readily available and were just climbing upstairs. But the judge made a point that even if her lawyers appeared in court, they will still have no choice than to adjourn the case again, because who is it against? It's against the state, and the state needs to make a representation in the form of the state attorneys. So even if the state attorneys were not in court, the hearing cannot take place. So for her, she remained calm, and she was saying that they will be looking for her, that by February 6th will be a date that the state attorneys would have called off the strike, and they will be in court to ensure that the judge agrees with their view that the hearing of the previous court should be adopted, and ask the various parties to file their addresses, which will lead to a date being fixed for ruling on the matter.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akablay, a man in court.